A 2020 warning about headlines. Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome to Brian J. Pombo Live. What are we talking about right now? What we're talking about is headlines. This is a series that I'm doing all on the power of headlines, how you can use them throughout your advertising, throughout your social media, anywhere that you're trying to get attention for you and your business. You should be using headlines. You should understand the psychology behind headlines. That's why I'm doing this series all on John Caples' 35 proven formulas for writing headlines, which is in his book, Tested Advertising Methods. You can go get a copy out there. It's an older book. You can find revised editions, and you can find older editions out there. It's a fabulous book, but this is a chapter 5. It's all on these formulas that he recommends for writing headlines. And it's a great way to start thinking about the psychology of headlines. Just want to remind you once again, I have a book all on the psychology of your entire business strategy, and it's called 9 Ways to Amazon-Proof Your Business. You can get a free copy at amazonproofbook.com. We use these videos as a way to get out the word about my own book, so you might as well go get yourself a copy. amazonproofbook.com. So let's talk about today's tip, shall we? This is the number 7 formula that he has in his book, and it's all about put a date into your headline. That's what he says. Put a date into your headline. There's a lot of different ways you can go about doing this, but the main idea is putting a date in there. Like I use the date. It doesn't need to be a specific date. It could be anything. And so what we're talking about, just in this headline that I use for the title of this video and this podcast, I'm talking about 2020. Just using the year. Sometimes you could use the actual day of the week. Here's a couple examples that he gives. Beginning June 1st, low summer rates at Miami Biltmore. July sale of fashion gloves. Why GE bulbs give more light this year. How to keep ahead this summer. You can speak French by October 15th. Why does putting a date matter? Putting a date causes a person to pay closer attention. One, because you're entering the conversation already going on in the customer's mind, right? They're already thinking about what's coming up. And so by you putting a month out there or a year out there or something else, you're saying that this is topical, that this matters right now, that this might have something to do with you, and it draws them in. Second, it's also a way to be able to kind of put a deadline on something. And deadlines work across the board on advertising. Deadlines, some people swear that you should never do any form of advertising without a form of deadline. One of them, let me see if I have his book right here, is a guy that I talk about in my book. And I don't see the book right off the top. I'm always moving books around because I'll pull them off the shelf and I'll be showing somebody or talking about something. I won't put it back. Outrageous Advertising by, actually, here it is. Outrageous Advertising by Bill Glazer. This book right here. One of the main things he talks about is never putting out advertising without a deadline of some sort. So what Caples is talking about is putting it right in the headline. If you have a deadline, put it in the headline. That's a nice little rhyme to it. It grabs people's attention and it causes them to act quicker than they would have otherwise. That's why we put dates in headlines. That's why it makes sense. It doesn't mean you need to put it in every single headline. None of these formulas need to be done every single time, and none of them are foolproof. It's just another way to get attention, to get them to do the next step, whatever that is. If it's an email, like we talked about before, it's about opening the email. You put the subject line to get them to open the email, and then what's in the email should be getting them to do something else. If it is an article or a headline on an advertisement, on a piece of print advertisement or a piece of advertisement online, the whole point of the headline is to get them to read the rest of the article, to read the next paragraph, to read the subheadline. and to walk them through the process. That's the whole point of headlines. So if you want to find out more about these 35 proven methods, I'm going to be talking about them. You'll be able to find the playlist. We'll have a link in the description about it, and you can find it over on any channel where you happen to check this out, whether it be via podcast or on YouTube or what have you, any social media that you're watching or listening to us on. Now, we'll be back here tomorrow with the 8th proven formula for writing headlines. In the meantime, you get out there and let the magic happen.